took the Kamani Simso, Tanzu Shura. Ni Toma de la Tada Minnesota Chibaki Tibetan Kids Club ki Subshuche, Ani Tada de Tatola Pewe, Lotu da Ani Yamdu Pama Chili, Tamalola, Ani Tashidile. Ani Tanganzu Tada Tibetan Kids Club gi Rinpoche la, Drupa Rinpoche la, Bigu Shuba Shisungi, Ani Rinpoche gi Tanda Nangchue da de, Ani Chamze gi Tola, Ani Rinpoche gi Kalup Naya gi, Ani Sheshe Nangsu, Ani Wanzu Tanda Tsongmi da, Ani Lutu Yong Tsangmane, Sabshuche, Rinpoche la, Ning Tawane, Gadin Che la Mishu, Ni Tambude. Ani tad Rinpoche gi kola bezza ji shuna samsung ani ta mangchi gi peje kengi da yugure yine ta ya chik ya thandi gi chik shuna samsung ya gashi ma kingi di na ani Rinpoche Drupa Rinpoche ani thanda kham kyu Drupa Gombe gi ani Kunje Dubegi, Ani Yangsi la, Ani Konsachone, Yangsi Munzi Nangsha, Ani Rinpoche Tungsa Gyaga la Resha, Ani Rinpoche gi Lomni Nangsa Tsangma, Ani Tanda Flojo or Shija Monkot la, Ani Debu Losen Lido, Ani Nangsha, Ani Rinpoche gi Gishi gi degree di, Ani Nidu Nga Lola, Ani Nangsha. Ani dene ani Rinpoche gi tada Malaysia Tsugla Tholop nangla ni Rinpoche gi Semkham Ripe thola ni Bachelor in Psychology wondi pane thudusha ni de jula ani Master of Science in Positive Psychology di ani tada Georgia University Life University Rinpoche dene thunasha Ani data chat ani Rinpoche gi tanda je yakhabilera je zong tanda research paper de angu de news chi ani tanda Rinpoche gi nyeho nangla ani geji semkham rigwalera gonde de gi dimzom chimbo nanglo la ani Rinpoche gi gonde de ani khare paper de khare dimde nangsha la bishweji ani Deni an thade chala Rinpoche tanda Minnesota nangchu chozo kaju lingdo ani Rinpoche gi nangchu gi lobyon chimbo ani nangshimba de ani wode de rochizare ani Rinpoche ani unzo nang nangshwe
la so ani modern nabo toji chena
Rinpoche tad nangchu da hukumaji Rinpoche ani nangchu da ani khare tengdi gi sheyo nangla ani pet khare nizi hallewe gi thobo da ani jik manzo tanda mi mangbu jila ani Rinpoche kalop nangyo denzo pe daji tubin suwe gi ani mi mangbu gi ani dede sungshimba de including myself
lasa toji chena 아니 당한조 가조 접해요나 녜데네 하고 오면도 녜데 좀데 쇼 내가 치싱네 그 소르들 경고도 되네 what do you do so anyway tashi delek and good evening I think many of you have met me before and we had at least 10 sessions. So I am guessing that most of the participants are same students, maybe 1, 2, 3, maybe new ones.
Mama! So tanda dira tanda Rinpoche kamen nang shuwe kabla ani mute sharuchi linget sama.
나 부족 아니 처음에 강하다
the
mute nangodo.
Kesan to kes ali kesan to gelani mute naurochi. Ani nubu lesh to nubu iPhone one de mute naurochi. Linge tangma mute naurochi. Ani wanzo de yahu kotu marda.
Yeah, that's information.
Participants more whiteboard speeches.
Le chuma disogodo.
Now muche pani chika di tangzi na yuda.
Control change so you said tanga di shira jume. Me shira go tsugumendo. Never mind. Oh shuzanga. So since most of the participants are the same participants that has been following this Nobu from Reve. Who is using Nobu's iPhone? Can you please mute your phone or Zoom? Okay. So what was I saying? So since you are all, most of you are the same people who are joining this session, so I thought to just resume where we have left. Remember, we have covered several topics. The last topic, I think we talked about how to do prostrations because that was relevant to Tibetan New Year. At that time, Tibetan New Year was coming up. And then since many of you will be visiting monasteries, so for that purpose, we have covered the topic on how to do prostrations. So from there on, so I'm going to continue with different topics. For today, the topic is, as you see on the slide, kindness equals happiness. I was asked to give talk on happiness, but we have already covered that topic in our first sessions. And I hope you remember what we talked about. Any volunteers who want to kind of summarize what we discussed? Can you recall what we discussed on the topic of happiness? Any volunteers? No volunteers, how come? Anyway, before we dive into the actual topic, let's do the Manjushri praise that we did before. I think many of you are already introduced to this, and we even talked about how to do various visualizations. So you see the text on your screen. So let's recite or chant slowly together. I'm going to be the umze. Lama da gombo jezun jambe yang chaze lo kange lo ne jende nindo nam da ram se Chenye zengwe, chenye se chenye je dupa, legwa ma enzen, kanda sebe, tera ma re, mendomo onye, yesewe, chozo gwe la, Oje daraze yen lo
jadu Oma arabazanadi, Oma arabazanado, marabazanado, 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 marabazanado. Oma arabazanado, Oma arabazanado, marabazanado, 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 marabazanado. Omara Bazanadi, Omara Bazanadi, Gera Vezere Dalu Temu Omyamba Rabse Gada Denju Shunglu Toba Ye Lodu Bobe Nawa Zedo. Okay,
Yeah.
so now let's see. What is this?
McDonald's.
McDonald's. Have you tried? There's something called Happy, was that Happy Meal?
Yes.
So why do they call it Happy Meal? Happy, what's that, Mac or something?
Because it makes people happy.
Supposed to make people happy, isn't it? So remember, in our first session, what did they talk about? Why the purpose of our life, or whatever we are doing, even now you are asked to tune into this class. For what purpose? What do you think is the reason? Why are we doing the things that we are doing? Because we all want to be happy. Nobody wants to experience pain and suffering. So that's why your parents are pushing you to join in these classes, because they believe that these knowledge, the knowledge that you gain from these sessions, can help you in the future. Right now, some of things you may seem irrelevant, but there are other things that you can still use at this time, at your age. But in the long run, this knowledge will definitely help us along the way. So like Big Mac, and now they have introduced Mac, there's this Happy Meal for adults as well. So I didn't know that there is such thing as Happy Meals. So the assumption is that when you eat this Mac, whatever it is, I don't know how big that is, it's supposed to make you happy. Does it make you happy when you have McDonald's?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. But how long does it last, that happiness, that joy?
Just a little.
Just for a while, isn't it? Even while you are eating, you may enjoy one burger, but if you try to have another burger, what happens? You may no longer enjoy. And then if you force yourself with, what happens? You will have stomach ache. So these other things, it may provide us temporary joy or happiness, but never lasting happiness. But we don't want just temporary happiness. We want a happiness that can last forever. We don't want to experience the tiniest pain and suffering. We become insatiable when it comes to joy and happiness. We want more and more and more. But all these, like eating happy meals or other things, having money, having big car, nice computer, what is that, PlayStation, whatever that is, the latest one. All this, yes, can provide or give us a little bit of joy, but not the lasting happiness and joy. So that's why here His Holiness says, now it is refusing to comply with my command. So this all boils down to, what do we want? What do we aspiring to achieve? So His Holiness says that when it comes to the purpose of life, it is to be happy. What we are doing is all about that. But then, as mentioned before, all the other things, external things, will not provide, cannot guarantee lasting happiness. So this is what His Holiness says. Since we are not solely material creatures, it is a mistake to place all our hopes for happiness on external developments alone. The key is to develop inner peace. So basically what is His Holiness saying that if we want to achieve lasting happiness, then we need to bring it within, from within. We need to make some changes in the way we think, in the way we do things. Remember this picture? So what does this say? The one who is on the first position podium, the little boy doesn't seem to be happy. On the other hand, the second boy, or one who is on the third, who got third, seems to be happy. So this strongly suggests that it is not the external things. It is your attitude. Likewise, we looked at this as well. We have all kinds of gadgets. Some of you have iPhones. But have you ever really enjoyed taking selfie? Look at them. They are having such a great joy and happiness just pretending to be taking selfie. So this shows that you don't need to have iPhone in order to experience that kind of joy. Without possessing or acquiring iPhone, you can still have fun. So therefore, the main goal, the main point that we have covered in our first session is that happiness is a state of mind. Therefore, it must come from within. Therefore, we must do something about internally. We need to bring transformation. Remember, we talked about two-pronged approach. So how can we achieve? How can we go about cultivating this transformation or the inner happiness? So it is what is called the way to do is two-pronged approach. Look at this. What is this? Weighing scale. So when you put in things in one of the two scales, what happens? The one with the things in it will go down, and then the other one will go up. And then if you put something else on the other side, then it may change the scale. So that is what we are supposed to do. We need to reduce, bring down those destructive emotions, such as anger, jealousy, hatred, greed. Remember, we talked about how to regulate anger, how to manage anger. We discussed in our second class how destructive anger can be. And we discussed ways to regulate our anger. So one way is to bring down the destructive emotions, reduce the frequency of destructive emotions arising within us. And then on the other hand, we bring up, we enhance the positive qualities, love, kindness, compassion, tolerance, whatnot. So we have talked about other things on the positive sides. We have discussed how to cultivate patience, how to cultivate a calm mind. We also talked about how to do analytical meditation. So today, one of the ways to cultivate the positive qualities, whereby it can bring down the scale. If your positive scale is heavier, then what will happen is it will reduce the weight of your destructive emotions, negative emotions, such as anger, hatred, jealousy. So today we are going to focus on how to enhance, how to develop kindness. Kindness is one of the positive emotions, positive qualities that everybody desire to possess, desire to acquire. We like a person who is kind-hearted. We don't like a person who is, harmful and all the time holds ill intention, always thinking of ways to harm, and who is all the time cruel. Nobody likes such a person. Everybody likes a kind person. So that shows that kindness is a virtue, is a positive quality. So now the question is, what is kindness? What do you understand when we say kindness? Any volunteers? Anybody want to answer this question?
Kindness is helping other people.
Kindness is helping other people. Okay, very good. Anyone?
Only one?
Oh,
Empathize.
wow.
Is somebody saying something?
Respecting someone.
Respecting someone. Yeah, that's also true.
Hello.
Con này là question chị. Không question.
Helping other people.
Helping other people. Okay, let's see. This is the dictionary definition. The dictionary says that kindness is the quality of being friendly, generous, and considerate. Do you agree? If somebody is being friendly, you can say that, oh, he has been very kind to me. Let's say if you are new to a school, you don't know anybody, but someone came up to you and was friendly with you, you will say that, oh, that boy was very kind to me. How about generous? Do you call somebody who is generous a kind person? Yes, we do. Somebody lends you his or her pens or pencils or books or whatever it is. We say, oh, he's very kind. And then considerate. Let's say if you did something wrong, but then your friend, being very considerately, didn't report to anybody else. And you will say that, oh, he was very kind. He didn't inform about what I did. So this is general, what do you call, the definition of kindness. But we are coming from Buddhism. So Buddhist perspective is a bit different. So we can say that acting with compassion towards others. Because the quality of being friendly, generous, and considerate doesn't mean that you do all this with compassion. But one level up is when you do all this, when you are being friendly with the other person, when you are generous with the other person, when you are considerate with the other person, because out of compassion, if you do that out of compassion, that becomes, or that kind of aligns with the Buddhist concept of kindness. So to give the exact meaning, can somebody read this, the Tibetan word?
Chamze.
Chamze. It's called chamze. So in Tibetan, we call kindness chamze. So chamze has two words, chamba plus tsewa. So what does tsewa means? Sometimes it's called loving kindness. So here tsewa means, the tsewa of chamze, here tsewa means wishing others to be happy. No, chamba, sorry. Here this chamba means wishing others to be happy. So if you do any action, let's say you are friendly with the other person because you are motivated by making the other person happy, that becomes kind act. That is the act of kindness. And then the other part is compassion, wishing others to be free from suffering. So from strictly speaking, from the Buddhist perspective, when we say kindness, any act, whatever act we are doing, it could be verbal, it could be mental, it can be physical. Whatever we do, these, what do you call that? Compassion and love must be the motivating factor. The intention is to really help the other person. So let me give you an example. Let's say if you are kind to other person because you wanted something else from the person, then that is not really a kind act. That's not really kindness, because you have ulterior motive. You wanted something in return. Your kindness is not genuine. You are not really concerned about the other person. You are being selfish because you wanted something from that person. So you are using kindness as a means to achieve your goal. So that is not considered kindness. That is considered cunning. Norbu's iPhone, can you please mute your phone?
Yes, sir.
Is that no? I think it's still on. So
Okay.
Oh, noble lagi amla da pala suina mute nang rochida.
Gonda.
oh yeah. So where was I now?
I want Losel just here to let. No, just say my name. How are you saying no? Losel just here to listen. Just say here.
Ngawa el mute nang rochige kuchena.
Yeah. So now I hope you understand what kindness really means. So kindness is not just helping others, or not just being generous with others, not just being considerate with others. Whatever action you do, that act must come from this genuine wish to help others. So that's why it is so important that when we offer help to others, when we are kind to others, we shouldn't be expecting anything in return. So first of all, that kind of stains the kind act. It spoils what you are doing. And secondly, when you have this expectation, then you will be disappointed when you don't get what you are expecting. And then it does not make you happy. Because remember, the whole topic here is kindness equals happiness. So when you do the real kind deed, when you practice the real kindness, that will definitely brings happiness. But if your motive is to benefit yourself, then there won't be real happiness. So in order for kindness to equal happiness, we have to make sure that whatever we are doing is really for the sake of other person. We really genuinely are wanting to help the other person. So that's why it is called chamzei. It must have these two things. If not both, at least have one. Normally, when you have one, the other will automatically be there. When you wish others to be happy, if that is a genuine wish, then when you see others suffer, you also wish them to be free from suffering. On the other hand, when you genuinely wish others to be free from suffering, so the opposite is you want them to be happy. So the point here is that the Buddhist notion of kindness must be motivated by chamse, or compassion or loving kindness. It must be propelled by the wish to genuinely help the other person. The concern should be aimed at the other person's welfare. You care for the other person. When we do any action with that kind of intention, then our action becomes a kind deed. And what we are doing is a deed of kindness. So what gets in what gets in between this kind deed, being kind to others, is this one, the self-interest, self-centeredness. So let's say if somebody asks to let play your video game. So on the one hand, you want to let him play, but then as soon as you're thinking to let him play, and then there's another thought in your mind, in your head, they say, hey, then how about me? I won't be able to play if I lend this to the other person. So there's always me. That's why it's called self-centered. Selfish in lay term, in simple term, it's called selfish. So selfishness comes in between. If somebody asks you to help him in his homework, and then so first thing is like, oh, I want to do something else. I want to do my own homework. I want to watch TV. I want to play video game. You see, it's all about me. So that's why His Holiness is saying that too much self-centered thinking is the source of suffering. So when you are only concerned about yourselves, when you are only being selfish, then it's all about me, 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 me. You will never help others. There will be no room for kindness. So when you do that, what happens? You will suffer, because others will also notice that. People will say that, oh, he is such a selfish person. He never helps. He is all about himself. She is all about herself. So even in school, when you are so self-centered, when you are so selfish, you cannot even find that many friends. You will be alone, and then when you really need help, nobody will come forward to help you. On the other hand, if you are compassionate, if you care for others, if you have concern for others' welfare, if you try to help others when they are in need, if you are generous with others, if you are considerate with others, then what happens is you will be happy, because others will like you. You will have many friends. It is always better to have more friends than less friends, isn't it? So when you go to school, when you go to your class, everybody becomes your friend. That is so wonderful, to enter a classroom or a school where every familiar face is your friend. On the other hand, if you are selfish, and then others won't like you, then while you are not there, others will talk behind you. Look at him, the selfish boy. Here goes the selfish boy. And then they will gossip behind you. And then when you walk into the classroom, everybody will turn their face away from you. So that is such a sad thing. And then you don't really enjoy school days. You don't want to go to school. So it is so important to be kind, to be compassionate. When you do that, then His Holiness says that well-being is the source. Then you will become happy. That the kindness becomes the source of happiness. Even if you don't want to be happy, automatically you will be happy. Okay? So this is for those who are below. I think we have, even though this is supposed to be age 8 and over, but since there are young, many of you are young, so let's watch this. This will illustrate the point. Oops. Mhm.
Caleb, Sophia, I have presents for you.
Presents?
Ooh, presents. Awesome, a new car.
Ooh, paintbrushes. Thank you, Mommy.
Thank you, Mommy.
These are mine.
Give it back, it's my
Come
toy.
on, Caleb. Let me see.
No, come on, give it back.
Wow. We're a good team.
Yeah.
You want to try?
Do you want to go first?
Really? Yeah.
Ready? Set. Go!
So what do you think? What does this tell you? Anyone?
Sharing makes you happier.
Sharing makes happier. Remember the first part? They have.
I cannot see. Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring, we say. Yeah?
Be generous.
Be generous. Here in this one, it illustrates how sharing can make you happy. So when they were not sharing, you saw that they were so miserable, even though they just got a new gift. They just got gifts, but they were not that happy. But only when they started to share, then they really enjoy. So when you have one thing and you don't share with your brothers and sisters, what happens? You will only have one thing. But if you share, you will get to play many, let's say for toys, many toys. So let's say if you have 5 siblings and each one gets 5 different gifts.
Hello, Kesan la de mute now chi.
So let's say if you have 5 siblings, brothers and sisters, and each one gets a different present. And if you don't want to share it, if you just keep your gift to yourself, then you will be stuck with only one gift, one toy, for example. Whereas if you are willing to share, you get to play with 5 different types of toys. So this is the benefit. this is the advantage of being generous, to share your gift with others, being kind. You want to play the other person's toy. Likewise, the other person wants the same. So you have to be generous and considerate. That way, you both benefit. So now let's watch another one.
เอามาเนี่ยเลยนะขี้ขโมยไหนดูสิเอาอะไรไปออกมาเนี่ยไปทำอะไรเนี่ยฮะถามว่าเอาไปทำอะไรเอาไปให้แม่
แม่ป่วยอ่ะ
อย่าทำอย่างนี้อีกนะ
muối cao lẩu chọn ngay là gấp nè
ป้า
จัดไปสั่งมาเรื่องต่ออะไร
So what happened here? Can someone explain?
So the person he gave the little child soup, any painkiller this, any jela ko nepachadu mishamadi nepachadu ko pesha chidu 这个말이 가지니 ko 약보치 any ko pesha chigo 말이 las.
Okay, thank you. Anybody wants to try? So what happened was the young boy, the little boy, his mother was sick, but he didn't have money to buy medicine for his mother. So what happened was he kind of stole the medicines, and then he was caught. And remember that lady, she was trying to take away the medicines from that little boy. But at that time, that old man who runs the that eating place, so he was kind. he paid for the medicines and then gave that packet of medicine plus the soup. So the boy remembered the kindness. So after 30 years later, the father got sick. And then he was admitted to hospital. And the bill was so huge, so expensive. They have no money to pay. So the daughter was trying to sell their house. But then they got the medical bill showing zero. And what happened was this young boy, who was the recipient of this father's kindness, happened to become a doctor. And this doctor was the little boy. So he remembered the old man's kindness. And because of that, he paid all his medical expenses. So this shows that if you are kind to others, then in the time of need, others will be there to help you. Even in our Tibetan community, those who are always helping other people, those who are doing community work all the time, when something happens in their house or their home, something misfortune, let's say misfortune befalls to their family members, you can see that there are always so many people there to support them, there to offer help. So this shows that kindness brings more friends and genuine help. So that's why it is so important that we should always try to be kind. So not only kindness helps the other person, but it also benefits you as a byproduct. Of course, your main goal is not to benefit you, but when you do anything to help another person, you will also reap the benefit. So that's why it is so important to be kind, and that is what we call the power of kindness.
Wow.
Okay, so I think what is the time now? Okay, 6:55. Yeah, this I want. So you already got the idea. I'm not going to tell this story. This is about evil never prospers. Maybe, yeah, let me tell you. So what is the opposite of kindness?
Evil.
Evil, cruelty, malice, ill intention to harm others. So if you adopt that kind of ill intention, the intention to harm others, what happens is you will never really prosper. Prosper in a sense that you won't be really successful. So there is a story that I read when I was in school, when I was your age. In our textbook, there is this story about two friends. So these two friends are really, really close. They are the besties. So they go everywhere. They play together all the time. They go to the same school. And one of the parents, especially the mother, somehow was very jealous of the other boy. So the story goes like this. So that mother who holds that ill intention, who wanted to harm the other boy, so she invited them for a meal and made pancakes. I'm using, we say baglet, but here I'm just using pancakes. So she made a call, asked them to come for a pancake, but she poisoned one of the pancakes. But in order for her to know which is which, she made the other a bigger one. The bigger one was poisoned. So what happened was, when she laid the 2 pancakes there, and while she was busy in the kitchen, what happened was these 2 friends are so close that the other one, the actual son of this parents, he wanted to have the bigger one, the bigger pancake. So they exchanged. And what happened was, her own son got sick instead of the other son, the son that she intended to harm. So this shows that if you attempt to harm others, eventually you will experience the consequences. You may get away one time, or you may not, but eventually, we have a saying, what goes around comes around. So it will hurt you. Let's say in school, if you are naughty all the time, if you are playing pranks all the time, what happens? First time, yeah, people may not know who is doing all these things. But once they find out that you are the one who is doing all those naughty things, nobody will like you after that. So my point here is that if you can be kind, that's very good. If you cannot be kind, at least don't harm others. That's the point here. I think I will skip all this. Tenzin Kenlek, can you mute your phone? Thank you. So these are the research findings. I think I won't go into this. We will skip this. So I think I made the point. So it's not just what I'm saying. They have done research. The psychologists have done research, have carried out experiments, and they found that kindness has many benefits, like it increases self-esteem, empathy, compassion, even mood. If you are in kind frame of mind, then your mood will be even better. Happier mood, you tend to have happier mood. And then in terms of physical health, it will decrease blood pressure, it will decrease stress. In short, kindness makes you happy. The more you become kind, the happier you become. So why not?
Okay, stop.
Look at this. There are so many things you can do. In order to be kind, you don't have to give lots of money to people. You can even give water to those who are thirsty. And look at this. He lives his life by selling banana, and how much money can you make? But still, you see that he feeds the street dogs. He's kind to dogs. So there are so many things we can do. Let's look at some examples.
You're listening to a Toadstool and Fairy Dust reading of Kindness is My Superpower by Alicia Ortego, read by Miss Jill. Be sure to thumbs up the video and subscribe. It lets YouTube know that you're interested in more videos like this. I'm Lucas, just an ordinary boy. And this is Teddy. He's my favorite toy. I like sweets, jellies, and cakes. But sometimes I make some mistakes. You see, yesterday I was in a very bad mood. So sadly, I did something extremely rude. I teased my friend Lisa for wearing glasses. It made her cry for the rest of her classes. When I got home, I was greeted by my mom. I was sad to see her face looking so glum. Honey, you made your friend Lisa cry. Hurting people's feelings is wrong. Do you know why? You should always be kind, my dear mother said. I knew I'd done wrong, so I bowed my head. What does it mean to be kind? I implored. Mom hugged me tightly. When she did, my heart soared. Kindness is shown when you say a gentle word. Be kind to your sister and even a bird. You can be kind to someone who's made you mad. You can be kind to someone who's feeling sad. Be kind and respect those who are older than you. Show respect and kindness to the younger ones too. Kindness is shown helping someone in need, and kindness is shown when you do a good deed. I pondered her words and couldn't sleep all night. I wanted to be kind and genuinely polite. So right then and there, without any
Jordan, eat good.
I decided to become very kind in the morning. And in the morning, the first thing I did do, when Mom made me breakfast, I told her thank you. I changed out of my pajamas, warm, soft, and red. I put away my toys, and I made my own bed. On the bus, I behaved the best as could be. I even asked the new boy to come sit next to me. At school, I helped him find his classes too. I knew it was the very least that I could do. I said, "Good morning," to all of my friends, and I even shared my brand new crayons and pens. Then I saw Lisa. Her eyes still looked sad. I approached her slowly, still feeling bad. "I'm sorry I teased you," I said with bent head. Lisa gave me a smile. "It's okay," she said. I realized that kindness is really super cool. So I was also kind when I got out of school. Outside, I waited my turn on the slide. And you know what? I felt good and happy inside. I was patient and kind, not angry at all. And I even found joy helping a boy find his ball. I picked up the rubbish, even though it wasn't mine. Kindness and doing good deeds made my heart shine. I love going shopping with Mom to buy food. Holding open doors put me in such a good mood. And after we bought my favorite toy and treat, Mom and I helped an old lady cross the street. I continued to be kind with joy and with glee, watching Dad fall asleep in front of the TV. He was sleeping on the sofa instead of his bed. So I covered him with a blanket and I kissed his forehead. I helped my little sister tie her shoelace. I was glad to see the big smile on her face. Being kind is amazing for everyone's sake, like giving your neighbor a yummy piece of cake. I like to help mine water his flowers. It really seems kindness has magical powers. I no longer do mean things like before. I don't tease others and I don't slam the door. I stopped being selfish and I share all my toys. I don't shout out loud or make too much noise. Kindness is something anyone can learn. Give to others and ask nothing in return. Helping others is simply the best thing to do. And when you're kind, kindness comes back to you. The end. The last page of this book gives all kinds of ideas for simple.
So what, can you list some of the kind acts that Lucas did?
He picked up litter.
He picked up litter. Yes.
He made his bed.
He made his bed. He made his own
He
bed.
helped. He
He said
helped his
sorry.
neighbors.
Be nice and share.
Sorry?
He
Water
volunteered.
his neighbor's
He
plant.
said sorry to the kid
He
who
helped
bullied.
his neighbors.
Ah,
He made it. He cleaned up his toys.
He helped his mom.
okay. He helped his mom. So whoever is doodling here, that's not a kind deed. That is not kindness, being kind. Because of your doodling, we cannot now see well. the
Please do
script.
not doodle.
Mhm.
Please do not doodle. It's not kind.
That is correct.
Yeah. Anyway, so remember the things that Lucas did. So these are the things. These are some examples or ideas that we all can try to do. So the first thing we all need to do is tonight before going to bed, you need to make your mind. You have to make this determination that tomorrow onwards, I am going to be kind. I'm going to be kind at home. I'm going to be kind at school. I'm going to be kind wherever I am, whoever I am with. And then consciously try to be kind. And then you experiment yourself. When you are kind to others, what happens? Normally, when you are kind to others, others will like you. Others will be more friendly. They will appreciate you. You will have more friends. You will get more help. And you will be happier. And at home, you are kind to your sisters, to your brothers. Then you two get along better.
Yes.
You will have less quarrel, less fight. Because of that, your parents will scold you less. You will be punished less. So these are the things that you can do. It's not something impossible to do. These are small things that you can do, but it can have huge consequences, huge benefits. So, as I mentioned before, so tonight, you all make your mind, okay? You make the decision that I'm going to be very kind from tomorrow onwards. And then try for 1 week or I don't know how, as long as you can. And then you can report back. And you can share with the class what happened, what you did. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Here you
Okay.
Hold on.
Food like Jordan Surfe.
We are not done yet.
Oh, Shega Shurona.
We are not done yet. So here, this is from His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. He says, be kind whenever possible. It is always possible. So His Holiness says. So always remember this. Be kind whenever possible. It is always possible. So in other words, be kind all the time. Okay. Thank you. I think you are dying to...
Okay. Ani, hello. 아니 딸디 먼저 디 지바기 생기 성민 상면 참슈체 무체라 닝탁반에 토지체나 쉐에 다 다리 칼로 디페 자지 코데보다 아니 다다 록투레 아니 다다 생이 파마다 창말라니 페다지 투벤스에 와시비에 아니 부상마 다득다 다리네 제야 디스지 카인사스 kan mo considerate ani are sharing che that caring the sangma yaru de washi last day rubuche
Laso Tujichena. Good night, everyone.
good night
라서 도지나.
Simjanang Gogula.
도체.
Wow.